Hey everyone, welcome to the video that teaches us how to deal with percents and the use of percentages. Let's get started. I'm not sure if you guys realize, but percentages are an extremely important part of our daily lives. We encounter percentages every day, if we think about it or not. I mean, percentages are a very handy way to write fractions. You know, I want a quarter of the pie and I leave somebody else 3/4 of the pie. In other words, I could say I want 25% of the pie and you go ahead and take 75%. So they're a very handy way of writing fractions. Shops advertise their discounts on products. So when you go to the bookstore, you see a sign that says you get a student discount, it's going to be 10% off. That's using percentages. And you have to know how to calculate that in your head quickly enough that you say, okay, is that a deal or is that not a deal? What about financial institutions? They quote their interest charged on loans, like for example, a house loan. If you go buy a house and they tell you that the housing loan interest is going to be 4.95% per annum, or every year, you need to know if that's good or if that's not good. What about when companies describe their success or their failure? You know, they usually do it as an increase or a decrease in profit levels, and they usually do that in percentages. So for example, Maryland's company profits are up by 17% for the last financial year. You hear that all the time. So we need to understand how to work with percentages. And one last example I'm going to give you is if you're a salesperson. It's very common, right? If you're a salesperson, you're going to be given commissions as an incentive for selling goods. If you make 25% commission on every sale, that's, you need to know how much money you're making every day and how many sales you need to be making every day to make the money that you want to make. So again, percentages are extremely important, so we need to know how to work with them. Let's do a couple of problems. Find the sale price if 15% discount is allowed off of a marked price of $25. So how would I do that? I need to find out what 15% of $25 is. So remember, anything that's a percent means that it's over 100. So what I would do first is I would figure out, okay, what's 15% of 25? So I would go 15 divided by 100, because that's the percent, right? 15 divided by 100, and then times $25. If you do that, you should get 3.75. That's what 15% is off of $25. So now I need to know what the sale price would be. If I know what 15% is, all I gotta do is subtract the original price, $25, minus what 15% is, which was 3.75, and I will get $21.25. So the sale price is $21.25 with a 15% discount. Next question. Last year, a ticket to the football game, that's supposed to say football game, guys. Last year, a ticket to the football game was $11. This year, the price has increased by 18%. Ooh, that's steep. What is the new price of the ticket this year? So again, it's increased by 18%. So that means that that's the guy who's going to go over 100. So I need to find out what 18% of $11 is, so then I can add it to the $11. So 18 divided by 100 times 11, because that's what the original price was, is equal to 1.98. So now that's what I have to add to the original price of $11. $11 plus 1.98 is $12.98. That's the new price for the tickets, for the football tickets this year. That stinks that they've gone up. All right, next problem. What interest will be paid on a deposit of $200 at 4% per annum? So per annum means annually. But they usually use this abbreviation for bank statements and stuff like that. So what interest will be paid on a deposit of $200 at 4% annually after 1 year? So simply enough, I have to find what 4% of $200 is. So 4 divided by 100, because that's the percent, times $200, which is the original amount. If I do that, you'll see that it's $8. So after the first year, you're going to get an interest of $8. Well, how about after 3 years? Well, the interest is the same. It's 4% annually. So if it's $8 the first year, after 3 years, you're going to get 8 times 3. So you would have gotten $24 in interest. All right, next one. A person buys a car for $1,500 and sells it for $1,250. That stinks. He made a loss. So what is the loss as a percentage of the selling price? And let's read B before we start doing any problems. What is the loss as a percentage of the cost price? So they want to know what percentage this guy lost out of the selling price and what he bought it for. So let's do the selling price first. The selling price is $1,250. All right, I need to find out a percentage here, right? So I need to put something over 100. But first, I got to figure out how much did he lose. So he bought it for $1,500 and he sells it for $1,250. So $1,500 minus $1,250 is $250. So if I wanted to find the loss as a percentage of the selling price, I need to put what he lost, the $250, over the selling price, which was $1,250. So 250 divided by 1,250 times 100, because I want to make it a percent. So times 100 would be 20%. So he lost 20% off of the selling price, which was $1,250. Now do the same thing, but do it off of the cost price, which this has to be less because you're going to have the same amount, $250, over a bigger number. So the percentage is going to be less, but you're going to do $250 because that's what he lost over the original price that he bought it for, which was $1,500. And then I have to multiply that times 100 to make it a percent. So 250 divided by 1,500 times 100 equals 16.7%. And that's how much percentage he lost off of the buying price, the cost price. So a word of caution. Remember how in the last video I said that you don't have to worry about sig figs when we deal with temperature calculations? In the same manner, you don't have to worry about significant figures when you're dealing with percentages. Those are the only two situations that you don't have to worry about significant figures. So in any calculation that the answer is a percentage, don't worry about sig figs. What I usually do is give the number plus a decimal if needed. So for example, in the first answer, we got 20%. That's okay. I leave it like that. No decimal, no 0.0, no nothing. It doesn't matter. But in the second part, your calculator gave you a decimal, 16.66666. So you want to go ahead and give as accurate as possible, your answer as accurate as possible. So you just go ahead and give the number plus one decimal place. So 16.7%. That's the norm. But again, I am not going to take off points for significant figures in calculations that deal with percentages or temperature. All right, last question. A discount of $90 was given on a microwave oven marked at $270. Find the price paid, and then the second part says find the discount as a percentage of the marked price. I am going to do part A with you, and then I'm going to leave part B to do on your own. If you want to look at the answer, you can look at the PowerPoint that coincides with this video. It's going to be in the notes section. But it's really easy. We've practiced this already, so just try it on your own. It's a good way to understand if you know how to do these or not. And what I would also suggest is that you go online and look for more problems. This topic is not necessarily spoken in your book, but it is an important topic. That's why I added it onto our course. So go ahead and go online and look for percentage problems. You'll see that there's plenty of them that you can do. All right, so a discount of $90 was given on a microwave oven marked at $270. Well, what is the price paid? Obviously, it's going to be $270 minus $90, which is $180. What I want you to find out is find the discount as a percentage of the marked price. You have to really pay attention to what the question is asking. It's not asking you to find what 90 over 180 is, because 180 was that new price. but that's not the marked price, right? You got to find what the discount as a percentage of the marked price, not the sale price. I hope that helps. All right, guys, that's it for this video, and I will talk to you later.